So we are continuing with exploring the fundamentals of meditation using Thrangu Rinpoche's book, Tranquility and Insight, and Venerable Pema Chodron's book, How to Meditate. And forgive me, I take asthma medicine, which makes my voice a little difficult. So today, this is one of my favorite areas of meditation to explore. I think as I have gone through years and years of meditation, when there's a new learning, let's say, that normalizes my experience, I find it very helpful. So I think we all feel that, there must be something wrong with our minds, that we're distracted. We have, all of these bubbling emotions. And when we have big life events, these emotions just are like volcanoes again, even if we've been meditating for a long time. And sometimes they reoccur. If we're healing our past wounds, they can reoccur for a long, long time. So going back to where we left off last week, Thrangu Rinpoche was saying, well, of course, they're the objects of meditation, but then there is the purification aspect of meditation. And in the purification aspect of meditation, we're working with all of our different, what we call hindrances and obstacles. And sometimes they're referred to as poisonous emotions. So the reason they use that kind of language is because they distort our mind. So in that sense, they're poisonous. And if we allow ourselves to become attached to these emotions, they get stronger and stronger. Until we uproot them completely, they reoccur. Maybe not in the same intensity, but they reoccur. So I'm going to talk about two things today. First, there is the how we classify these emotions, and then second is how do we distinguish the gross level and the subtle level of these emotions. But it's just to say, when we understand that all of us have all of these emotions and that our path is working with these emotions, not rejecting them, stuffing them, or bypassing them, then we start to see, oh, this is simply a human mind. I would love to think they never cross my mind, but they do. And when they do, we want to recognize them and learn about them so we're not unintentionally strengthening them. So in the earliest form of meditation, they called them hindrances. And they classified it as hatred or aggression, craving, addiction, attraction, doubt, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry. So in the later Mahayana Buddhism, they put sloth and restlessness in a different area, and they added jealousy. So we have hatred, jealousy, doubt, craving, and ignorance. So in either way, we're looking at how do they manifest, how do we recognize them when they manifest, and what is the level of, let's say, stickiness or engagement. So as I was talking about last time, there is the kind of distraction where all of a sudden you're in a movie and you don't even know you've left your meditation practice, so you're completely gone. Or there's a middle level where you get 3 or 4 sentences into the novel, and then you go back to meditation. Or the subtle level, in which it's still a distraction, but it's oh, I can see those thoughts, they're not bothering me, but I can see that they're present. So it may seem, as we meditate, that you have more thoughts and more emotions, and this is really very common, but it's because we're starting to see not the coarse level, but the middle level and the subtle level. And I thought what we do today is go through these descriptions of the main hindrances or obstacles and what their gross, middle, and subtle levels are, or how they're described, and then take a few minutes just to think about it, to really think about, oh, do I recognize these? Are these very prominent in my mind? Do these occur to me occasionally, but they're not the definitive hindrance that is most distracting right now? So I'll read the description and then we'll meditate for a few minutes on that emotion. And then in the coming weeks, we'll talk about the different kinds of meditations and the different kinds of responses that are helpful. So first we'll start with desire, and desire, addiction, craving. We talk about this a lot because this is propelling our samsaric life from life to life to life. So in desire, we want something, we want to get it, we want to own it, we want to possess it, we want to make it ours, we want to consume it. So at a coarse level, you can think of anything that you're addicted to. Any substance, whether, or you have been addicted to, smoking, alcohol, food, sugar, coffee, something that is such a strong distraction that you would leave your meditation seat and actually go get it. So the middle level is just wanting. It's not the strength of propelling you into action, but it's wanting. And then the subtle level is very interesting. It's wanting to be absorbed into something. So you recognize at a subtle level that it is a get me out of here response. You want to be absorbed into something to take you out of this moment, this present moment. And this reifies, all three reify the self and is a driving force of samsara. So let's just think about a moment those different from coarse to subtle aspects of desire. Wanting, I have to have it, or just the feeling of wanting, or seeing at a very subtle level, I don't want to be in this present moment, get me out. And the getting out is to be absorbed into something else, the substance, the entertainment, however you define your particular kind of craving. So let's think about this for a couple minutes. That very subtle, I'm going to use this substance so I can be absorbed into a different state and not be here. Okay, then moving to aversion or hatred. Anger, we know what this is. So at the coarse level, disliking, hating, angry with a person or a situation. You can feel the heat of it just, already moving into your throat and head, if not your whole body. I think everybody recognizes this, even if it's just a resentment, even if it's remote, in the sense of politicians, for instance. The middle level is I don't want. It's the opposite of I want, but I don't want. And I'm going to force it out of my consciousness. Force it not to be there or not to be here. So instead of being absorbed into, we're forcing it out. And the subtle level is irritability, a resistance, and can go towards, I don't want to be alive in this moment. I want to be asleep. Again, I don't want to be present. We encounter, let's sit with that a minute to just really reflect. How do you experience anger when it comes into your meditation? Is this something that's fresh and a very sort of driving distraction that pulls you away? Is it very easy for you to go into the narrative of why I was harmed and why this person is deserving of my anger? Or is it more refined? I just don't want this. Or is there like a subtle thread of irritability and resistance? You might notice that, when we give the meditation instructions, there's an irritability or resistance with the Dharma talk, with meditation itself. It's simply aversion arising. Okay, moving into sleepiness or lethargy. I really love the old-fashioned words, sloth and torpor. I like some of this language because it makes it fresh. The course would be just heavy sleepiness. And if your body is not tired, then this is a hindrance arising, a temporary state. If your body is tired and you're very tired, you're simply tired. But there are also these states of mind that are not based physically, but are the hindrance of sleepiness arising. So refined, your mind might be foggy. So when we start meditation early in the morning before we do the exercises, I notice that my mind is foggy. And then subtle would be slightly less alert. So the meditative state that we're cultivating is described as a bright blue autumn sky, that electric, fresh, wide open brilliant blue. So subtle would be slightly less alert than that. So let's just check our minds this morning. If you were, it's still fairly early in the morning, if you were just checking in, would you describe yourself as slightly less alert, foggy, or are you very, very sleepy? So let's take a moment to just check in what that mental state feels like to you. Sometimes I find it helpful to create a description so I can see nuances. Like, does my mind feel like Parmesan cheese? Or does it feel like cold oatmeal? Or does it feel like cotton wool? Or does it feel fresh and open? And by coming up with a description, I can start, as I begin meditation, I can see, well, how does the 9-round breathing, for instance, help that freshness of mind? How does doing the settling of the mind or moving into a posture that supports all the chakras being unblocked, how does that affect the experience of sleepiness? Then the fourth is restlessness. And you can see, I would just be shocked if everybody didn't recognize every single one. So restlessness is you absolutely cannot sit still. Today you can't sit down, it's just too hard. No matter who's leading meditation, you're going to just put your Zoom on the icon and you're just going to go do something else. There's that antsiness. Then refined is okay, or the middle level. I can sit still, but my mind is really restless and my body is really restless. I have to keep adjusting my body and I'm going from thought to thought to thought. It's difficult to settle my mind. Just the mind and the body can't sit still. And then a very subtle is, I'm itching here, itchy there, my skin is itchy. So I was just at a Zen retreat, and the Zen people encourage you to sit still no matter what. And I think part of the benefit is to start to recognize the hindrance of restlessness and to sit through its dissipation. So as we go forward, Venerable Pema and some of the sutra traditions give a variety of ways to work with these hindrances. But for right now, again, let's go into our state today. Are we absolutely comfortable sitting still? Are we feeling just like our meditation seat is a hot plate and we just want to jump off? Do you feel like you have little itches here, there, everywhere, so you're just slightly moving? Just notice how it is for you this morning. And then moving to the fifth, doubt. Again, very interesting. The Course is, I have to know the answer. And am I doing this correctly? You know, that combination of the mind, you know, I have to know how to do this. I have to know all the instructions. I have to be, I have to know all the different levels. And am I doing this right? Am I making a mistake? That questioning, it's not that reflecting on the instructions is incorrect. It's your mind, our mind can be overtaken by doubt in this kind of way. Refined, or the middle level, oh, I see people are taking refuge. I see, you know, people are taking vows. Should I take vows? Is this meditation correct for me? You know, maybe I should try Zen. Maybe I should try the sutra tradition. You can see how you're just sitting for 20 minutes of meditation, and does that kind of questioning take over your mind? And then the subtle is really fun. Oh, is this enlightenment? Oh, I had an experience. Is this enlightenment? I loved working with Venerable Gogwang in the Zen retreat because she's just so direct. Someone was saying, oh, I'm seeing lights. I'm seeing this. Is this special? Is this enlightenment? She just says, open your eyes. You know, it's we will know when it's enlightenment. When it's enlightenment, there is no doubt. We are opening like our own flower. So as we're growing, there is a trust in the growing process, but having a temporary experience and wanting to make it special, that is a subtle kind of doubt. So let's sit for this, on this subject for a minute and just say, oh, I see, this is something that I go through a lot, or this doesn't apply to me, I don't usually do this. But just, I suspect everyone has a momentary experience with, is this it? Is this it? So let's sit with this for a minute. So I hope this normalizes your experience in the sense that when you encounter these things in meditation, I don't know anybody who doesn't encounter some level of these things. You understand that your mind is a human mind and it's a normal human mind. And the path of meditation is gradually uprooting, even to the subtlest level, these hindrances, and then seeing the nature of your mind or enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And we can see that, and this is what is really lovely, we can see when we explore these, how painful they are and how much they make us suffer. And then we have greater and greater compassion for everyone who is suffering in the same way. If we try and suppress them or ignore them or bypass them, we're not seeing the human experience, we're not seeing the pain of samsara, and so we're not really understanding the peace of liberation and how to help others find that peace. Another very, very helpful teaching was given by the Buddha on the hindrances in terms of metaphor. And he said that desire or addiction, when that influences your mind, it's like you've injected a colored dye, that everything is seen through that colored dye. But when we're released, it's like your student debt is paid off, your mortgage is paid off. There's a whole burden lifted. Then aversion, anger is like your mind is boiling water. You're trying to see your mind, but it's seeing it through boiling water. And when we liberate that, it's like recovery from a great illness. You're released from that illness. Sloth and torpor is like seeing your mind looking through a pool that's covered with algae, and the release is like being freed from prison. Restlessness and worry is like your mind is being blown by the wind, and the release is described as freedom from slavery. Doubt, you're trying to see your mind through muddy water, and the release is passing safely through dangerous territory when you're traveling. So if you've ever been to India, there is dangerous territory. So again, just really take in how normal these experiences are. And we may have, for a period, solved the gross levels of some of them, but they may reoccur. Our karmic seeds are ripening, and you might have a great difficulty arising in your life, and you might notice that your meditation sessions have this particular hindrance. It's not a problem. It is the nature of aspects of our mind that are confused, clouding our clear mind. So not approaching it as a problem, but saying, oh, I recognize that. Let me get curious about that. Let me find, how close can I get to the root of that? How can I investigate and see the layers of it and become comfortable, so that then when it does reoccur, until you're fully liberated from that particular hindrance, it is mild and subtle, and not so sticky that it pulls you off your seat. So these are so much fun. I wanted to open it up to discussion. And let me see if I can make it into gallery. And I'm still having trouble segueing into gallery. So if you use the reaction button, then I can see the raised hand of someone who'd like to speak. Oh, I'll do a quick dedication before we bear our favorite hindrances and stop the live portion. Bodhicitta, excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.